This is the True Believers Bible Study with Ray McCollum. Let's figure things out.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the True Believers Bible Study. We're looking at God as a builder, the one who created and built the universe, who built men, who built the animal kingdom. God is a builder. Christ came as a carpenter and the son of a carpenter. The whole nature of God is that he is a builder. Then we've been looking at how does God build? And the first of the three dimensions of God's building, the starting point, is relationally. Peter said, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said, on this rock I'll build my church, because flesh and blood did not reveal me to you. It was God the Father. So we saw that everything begins in God's building program with laying the rock of the revelation of the true identity of Christ in your life. And the last two sessions, we've looked at that. I'm going to move on to the second dimension of how God builds today. He builds first revelationally. Secondly, he builds relationally. God builds us by putting us into relationships, first with himself and then with others. You know, when God created the heavens and the earth and everything in it, it says, and he saw everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. And it says that several times. It was very good, very good. The first not good in the Bible, uttered by God, deals with man's aloneness. In Genesis 2:18, God said, it is not good that man be alone. That was the motivation for God's construction of the woman. Man was good, very good, but it was not good that he was alone. He needed relationship. So God gave the man that relationship with his wife. And then, of course, they had children. And this is how God built human civilization. He started with a man, and then he created the woman, and then the man and the woman procreated, and you have relationships in what we call families. In Psalm 68, verse 6, the psalmist says, God sets the solitary in families. Do you know that you were born out of relationship with your father and mother and into relationship with a family? God did that. God sets the solitary in families. You'd be alone if it wasn't for your family, but God has set you in a family. Now, over in the New Testament, you remember it's first the natural, then the spiritual. So in the same way that God set you in a physical family, 1 Corinthians 12:18 says, for God has set in the body every member that as pleases him. So in other words, when you're born, it is God who has set you in that family because you have to have relationship. When you're born again, God sets you in a spiritual family. It's called the church, or more specifically, the local church. Vertical relationships. Nothing happens until revelation comes. That's the first relationship you have to have. That's when God builds the revelation into your life of who Jesus is. That puts you in a relationship with God. But then there's relationships that are horizontal, meaning with other people. That's the next stone in God's building program. It's a setting. In the same way he sets us into with himself in relationship when we know him, then he sets us into the church with other believers. And that's the horizontal part. That's the cross, the vertical beam of the cross and the cross beam of the cross. That speaks of being related to God vertically and being related with others horizontally. Every birth, natural and physical, comes through relationship. Conception can't take place outside of relationship. Birth can't take place outside of relationship. And survival is impossible outside of relationship. You have to have others. God did not create man in the garden. He placed him there. It says in Genesis 1, 2:26 and Genesis 2, 7 and 8. God never leaves you where he finds you. He has a garden, an Eden, a paradise for you, and he will place you there as you serve him. Placement actually is critical in God's plan. He places you in a family in the Old Testament. New Testament, he places or sets you in the family of God, in the church. And he's building you, don't you see? He's building you. He starts with the relationship with himself, then he builds relationships with others. And if you're one who is today, so many are not connected with any local church. They don't have spiritual relationships with other believers. Well, you can be saved and not have that. But if you're going to be built up, you have to be in a relationship with others. If people say, well, I've got God, it's me and Jesus, that's all I need. Well, you can have that, and I'm sure you can get to heaven. But the truth is, you won't grow. You won't be a mature, complete person outside of relationships. Okay, we'll be back with more next time. Till then, God bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you. Be very gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We'll see you next time.
True Believers Bible Study is made possible by people just like you. To make a donation, please visit truebelieversbiblestudy.com.